Good day everyone, I am Nina Lingerong from BSN4 and today we're going to talk about the cornerstone of a Gothic literature, and it is written by Edgar Allan Poe, the poem entitled The Raven. So this was published in 1845, and of course this poem is known for its musical language and psychological depth. So it is being called known for musical language because in the words of the poetry are there are more of the words are stressed in the first syllable and the second syllable is unstressed. So for example, we have the word midnight. So midnight. So the syllable mid, it is being stressed, and the night, the syllable night is not being stressed. So that is why it is known for its musical language. And also it is the most widely studied narrative poem in American literature. And also, to sum up the story, is there was a man in the midnight. So he was reading books. As he was reading the books, he almost got to fall asleep. Then he hear it tapping at his door. So in this time, he thinks about Lenore, the lost loved one he had. So because of his grief and loneliness, he felt nervous opening the door. So since the tapping is never stopped, he take courage to open the door. And as he opened the door, he sees there no one. Then he goes back inside, go to his bed. Then again, he hears a tapping that never stopped. Then he goes again to the door. And then as he opens it, there was no one again. And he goes back to bed. But the tapping still never stops. But this time the tapping occurs at his window. As he opened the windows, he saw a bird enters and flies through a statue. There it stopped. And then he tries to joke to the bird. He asked the bird, "What is your name?" And the bird answers, "Nevermore." Then he asked a lot of questions. He almost shares all his grief about his lost loved one, which is Lenore. Then he asked the raven if will he will the pain he experienced has a cure. But the raven answered, "Nevermore." And then he asked a lot of questions. And then the final questions he asked to the bird is that will he ever be able to see Lenore in heaven again? But the bird answered, "Nevermore." And because of the bird's answers, or how he talks to a bird, he almost lost his grip. He feels uh, more, more deep, strongly, deeply pain that he experienced. And with this, the implications to life we can realize is that we may never control what will happen, and difficulties, failures, grief, and loss is part of life. But the important thing is that we will learn how to recognize those things. We will learn to acknowledge it as part of life, of course. And by that, we must not lose hope, even with those challenges and problems, because we need to appreciate the opportunities, the loved ones, the blessings we still do have. So that is what we can learn from the poem, which is entitled The Raven. And also, we may not control what will happen, but we can control how can we respond to those happenings in our lives. So that is all about for the poem entitled The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. Thank you for watching.